Hi everyone, my name is Jasmin Figueroa. I work for Northern Trust and I'm a consultant in their market data redistribution department. I'm 100% Mexican, so my grandparents were born in Mexico, my parents were born here. So with my dad, he never graduated from high school or never went to college. After high school, he went into the union. And then my mom, she graduated high school, went to college, but she was doing that part-time because she was also working. At that time, she was raising 2 children. So for me, college was kind of a given that my parents wanted me to go, but we didn't know kind of how to do the college process because she was just kind of given that opportunity from work. So as she was working part-time, DePaul came into the bank and kind of told them about their opportunities, and that's how she knew about college. So for me, it was kind of starting from scratch. So I learned a lot from my high school counselors. There was a lot of like college fairs and things like that and helping with financial aid. And it was just kind of a learning process. My mom was like, okay, let's go visit some schools because I was set on going to a certain school, I think down south, I think it was ISU. And my mom said, let's go visit it, see kind of if you like the atmosphere and just where you're going to live. Because it was down south in the middle of nowhere, I realized that wasn't kind of the ambiance that I wanted. So then I started visiting schools in the city and I like the city life a lot more. So that's how I chose DePaul. For me, going there, it was nice because I also thought about my family. I'm very close to my family, so I thought about how far do I want to be from them. And for me, DePaul was only about 45 minutes to an hour to get home back to the suburbs. So I was nice enough where I could live on campus, be away and be independent. But then also if I wanted to go home, it was a kind of a quick train ride or car ride. So my education was I graduated from DePaul. I went there for all 4 years. I stayed on campus. And then from there, DePaul has a website where employers go into that website to kind of look for candidates and you apply for all their jobs specifically for DePaul students. So my resume was thrown into there. I kind of got pretty lucky after graduation. I was studying business management, so I kind of knew what I wanted to do. I wanted to do something in business. Thought I wanted to go into HR because I love to help people. So I was applying for HR positions, but then my resume got pulled out for a bank. Because of my previous work experience, they asked if I wanted to be a contractor. I didn't have to interview or anything, so that was nice. And just kind of went from there. So they gave me the position. And the bad part, well not bad part, but DePaul, we're on a quarter system, so we graduate a little later than other students. So a lot of these students already were out into the world and employers wanted them to start earlier, whereas I was still in class, going to classes, graduating, and needed to have a job. So like the job market was kind of small. So when I got that opportunity, I just took it. It was nice because it was a new role. I was going to be a contractor, so it was something new to learn. But now I've been there for 5 years, so it's been nice because my role was in a new department. So they kind of temporarily hired me, but they told me after a couple weeks that they liked me. They were starting a new department, so they were going to look to keep me on for full time. And I've been there 5 years, and I've had about 3 different roles within that group, which has been nice because I love learning new things, and they kind of realized that there was new opportunities within the company that I could do, and I've been there since. So yeah, that's my kind of current profession. So for me, it was very different because I never really worked in corporate America. So corporate America is what they say. It's a lot of male, white dominated, and then especially being in the financial industry, I've seen that a lot. There was hardly women, and then even with that, there was hardly any people of color, especially on my team and my floor. I would say there was one other Latina and maybe 1 or 2 African Americans. As the years have gone, there's a little bit more, but there hasn't been too many. So that was an adjustment because going from DePaul, where I had a pretty diverse group of friends, to going into corporate America where I didn't see people who looked like me. It was very, not intimidating, but it was a little intimidating, but a little weird because I felt like I couldn't be myself certain times. Like they didn't understand like cultural things. So when I did meet the other Latina on the floor, it was nice to kind of speak Spanglish and them understand that So that was something to kind of overcome and kind of think about, but at the end of the day, that's my job. Being in a bank, you do have to be very professional, so it's not like I wasn't myself, but there's a certain way you have to act. So during the workday, you have to be professional, but then once I leave work, I'm with my friends and I can kind of be myself. So you kind of learn how to balance that. The benefits, though, that how I got this job was because I did speak Spanish. So they didn't really have anyone on the team or on our floor who spoke Spanish. So that kind of gave me that leg up. So if there was things that they needed to be translated, or just like invoices that they didn't understand something, or if they need me to call someone to kind of interpret something, that's kind of where I came in. So that was a benefit. And being a woman and being a woman of color, I've learned that women don't ask for raises as much as men do. So, and I think it comes with our culture as well. When I was given this job, I never asked for a raise. I was very grateful that I got a job and was appreciative. So I took what I was given, and I feel like that's a lot in our culture, where you should be grateful for any opportunity you have. As the years gone on, I learned that most males at any time, even if they're graduating from college and their first job out, they always ask for a raise. So whatever amount they're given, they're like, thanks, but I want more. And one piece of advice that I was given, if you're given the opportunity and like they give you the offer, it's that because they want you. So you have the leg up and you can always ask for more money. So that's one piece of advice I would do. This is my 5th year and I'm barely asking for a raise because I started to learn this now. So that's definitely something I want to give to you all, is when you start getting into the job market, don't be afraid to ask for more money, because if you're worth it, they know it and they're giving you that opportunity. So definitely do that. And then also just being a Latino, I feel like we're very helpful. So I've learned that people come to me a lot and ask for me to help things, and I always say yes. I feel bad saying no, but definitely learn to say no when you can, because I've gotten stressed a lot of times, and there was times where I couldn't get my work done because I was helping someone else and I had to stay later, and no one knew that. I didn't tell anyone, obviously. So make sure you're kind of worrying about yourself instead of worrying about others, especially in the working field, because unfortunately it's a company, so they care about the company, and sometimes it's bad to say they might not care about you as much as you care about the company. So make sure you're concentrating on yourself first, and then go ahead and help others. Just learn how to balance things, and don't feel bad saying no, because I'm still learning to do that. I'm very guilty of still saying yes. Also, speak up for yourself when you do something. So again, if you're helping someone, don't be afraid to toot your own horn. No one's gonna know that you did any job unless you kind of speak up about it. If it's something that was really helpful to the team, let them know that you were a big part of it, because there's nothing wrong with that. You did something great, they should know, and again, that'll help you for the future of other jobs, getting a raise and things like that. That's another thing for our culture. We don't talk and we don't boast ourselves, and it's something I'm still learning, so definitely just keep that in the back of your mind and continue to do that in your everyday life. In high school, I would definitely say make sure you are keeping up with your schoolwork, studying. Your parents aren't always going to be there for you once you get to college. When you're in college, you have to be responsible for yourself. So making sure you're keeping up with your classes and making sure you're keeping up with your assignments, knowing when to study, because that's going to transfer into when you graduate as well. In a job, there's deadlines. You need to know how to kind of time manage, and making sure you do that at an early age will help you going forward. Okay, last question. If I could give one word of advice to students, what would it be? I would definitely say internships. So in college, or just even now, trying different jobs, I would do that. When I started college, I thought I wanted to do something in HR because I wanted to help people. So I did an internship, realized I didn't like it. Next job, I thought I wanted to do something in hospitality. Worked for a hotel. I've never worked nights or weekends, was working nights and weekends all the time. I hated that. So it's nice because I was doing that in college to learn what I wanted to do instead of wasting time and kind of going into a profession, paying all this money for a degree and realizing it's not something I want to do. So that was definitely something that's very helpful for me.